Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SFL Postgame Show. Tonight's final scores. Queen City clobbers Carolina 27-3. Oklahoma City erases an early 13-0 deficit. They win 31-22. And right now, Orlando still leads Santa Fe 38-28 as that game is coming down to the wire.
Hello.
Hey, we've got, welcome to the SFL Postgame Show. We've got Michael Irvine, owner of the Oklahoma City Renegades, on the line. And I just want to let everyone know who's watching on SFLN1 that SFLN3 is back on the air for the conclusion of that Orlando and Santa Fe game. And so stay with us simultaneously as that game finishes up. But Oklahoma City improves to 4-6 tonight. Rocky start, but you have to love the way the team finished.
Yes, I mean, first of all, hats off to the Pride. Solid team. I could tell early on that they were just picking them apart. Short passes and, tough to cover. A lot of people moving everywhere, and it was really a consolidated effort, at halftime to get my defense to creep up a little bit more and hold them to only 2 field goals in the second half.
Yeah, that run defense was active again for you guys. 64 yards on 17 carries for Lane. And sorry to cut you off here, but Orlando just got a pick six. Nick Nitro to the house, and Orlando is beating Santa Fe 44-28 with less than 2 minutes to go. That can't make you very happy as you're trying to catch Orlando for that 4th spot.
No, but my hat's off to them. I mean, I was in a similar situation, and I thought I had it in the bag, and here they come, Santa Fe out of nowhere, and snuck one out in the final seconds. So, won't count our chickens until it's over.
Now, Tallahassee got their tight end going in this game. Cole Ross, 9 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. He was sensational tonight, but so was your tight end. 144 yards and a touchdown from Bovine, and Adabruski, 163 yards and 2 scores. And if you get 307 yards and 3 touchdowns out of your 2 Gold Star players, I don't know what else you would want out of a game.
Oh, yeah, it was and plus you can throw in there the beautiful kind of a post route to Boyer for a wide open for a touchdown, who's a silver. So, I mean, and Six Killer, he was active underneath. Really solid. I think I just tried to push the Bovine envelope a little bit too much, and it allowed Tallahassee to get back in the game. I should have just stayed more with Brewski and pounded it out towards the end. I got a little greedy.
Well, looking at the updated playoff picture for the Teal, we've got the Maulers at 5-4. They play Los Angeles Saturday, and obviously a very big game. Orlando looks like they're going to improve to 5-5 unless, as you said, they have some tremendous comeback in the last 2 minutes. It would take a village. And then it's Oklahoma City 4-6. Houston is at 3-6. Tallahassee drops to 3-7. So you've put yourself in a position. You're still a game back of 4th place, unfortunately for you guys, due to the Orlando win. And since Orlando has the tiebreaker, And Minneapolis also has the tiebreaker on you guys. Definitely a must-win moving forward. And you've got Houston next. That's just the way the Teal Conference has been this year, I suppose.
Yeah, we knew going into this game, especially with the heartbreaking loss to the Maulers at home by 3, that we had to win out to even have a chance. So that's our mindset. Do what we can, get creative, and win out. If we don't win out, we don't think that we even have a chance. But if we win out, who knows what will happen in next coming weeks.
And I'm sure that sorry, I was distracted by the chat. I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm sure you will be paying attention to how Houston fares against Sioux Falls, since I'm sure you are more than happy to see your next opponent have to play the Sparrows after what they put you through.
Of course, of course. And looking at the schedule, it's a doable schedule. I believe the other 2 playoff hopefuls have, at least on paper, a tougher schedule.
Right.
And the days of the Wild West, I'm hoping to backdoor it.
Doug Bose says, win out, he says, no chance. He visits L.A. in Week 12. Any response?
It's okay. Just tell him I'll bring my Sharknado trophy.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Dan, for the time, and congrats on the comeback victory.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Michael Irvine, owner of the Oklahoma City Renegades. They improved to 4-6. Open line now, 210-473-8428. A couple of teams did well to cement themselves into the playoff picture. A couple of other teams really hurt their cause. We've got 5 seconds left. It's still 45-28 in Orlando. By the way, we're going to give you the post-game show so that you can review some of the plays that you may have missed. From that outage earlier in the game. Right now we have Tallahassee Pride owner Frank Gooden on the line. How you doing, Mr. Gooden?
Doing well. Could be better. Coming off a loss, we hate losing.
Yeah, it's got to be getting old. As Orlando, by the way, it just went final 45-28 over Santa Fe. And just talking with Oklahoma City, that's got to make you roll your eyes and say, "Come on, really?" You know, I mean, you do have Orlando left on the schedule, so you have the potential to get the tiebreaker, but they just made it tougher on almost everyone in the Teal Conference tonight.
Yeah, they did. Where we are now, it's all about assuming a spoiler role for us. We got a nice rivalry going with both these teams left on the schedule. And it would make our season if we were to upset Santa Fe right along with Orlando and then come back to get Orlando to boot.
Yeah, Santa Fe is gonna, I'm sure, be a little angry because right now they still have first place in their power. All they got to do is stay a game within Sioux Falls, and then they can win the tiebreaker to take first if they're able to manage a win in that Week 12 game. So this game now all of a sudden, when you thought it didn't really mean much, now it means everything to Santa Fe, and your guys have to be alert of that, don't they?
Yeah, that's why I say we just got to play spoiler. The way our team is playing offensively, we're just doing all we can, and we started out really good in the first half against this great OKC defense. And I got to give props to Michael Irvine. He had a really great game plan. We started out really well, and we're going to need to figure out a way to sustain those. Getting into the red zone as many times as we have. We just got to be able to convert and then keep that up in the second half of games.
Yeah, I mean, you love Bo Davis to death, but you never want to see him kicking 5 field goals, and he's 28 of 30 on the season, so he's averaging about 3 field goal attempts per game, and that's been a key in a lot of games this year.
yeah, and it's it's one of these things where we put a little bit too much pressure on limited offensive personnel. We really thought that Lane would be able to be a little bit more consistent than it turns out. These SFL defenses have been keying in on him, and we haven't had enough help for Kenny G to keep these defenses off of him. So they've been able to key in, and therefore we've been, forced to use Bo Davis a little bit more than planned. And unfortunately, that just hasn't been enough. We got a D that has just playing with crazy heart. They're getting us these late game picks to try to give us a chance, and it just breaks the heart. We don't have enough to be able to convert on those chances.
Now, it's hard to play the scenario game. You're talking about playing a spoiler. I'm trying to pick apart if there are any scenarios in which Tallahassee still could get in at 5-7. You do hold the tiebreaker over Minneapolis from that Week 1 victory, but obviously the OT loss to LA and the loss to Oklahoma City hurts. Have you played the odds yet of whether or not Tallahassee does have a shot to get in?
Well, right. No, I think that we're probably on the outside looking in at this point. It would take just incredible meltdowns from everybody in the teal for us to even have a shot at getting in. So just realistically, I don't see that, which is why we're going to embrace the spoiler role and just play our hearts out. We were a little bit too loose last game. We sort of rolled the dice a little bit too much with a complete different attack on our defensive scheme. We won't quite go that far, but we're definitely going to play things really loose, try things, and try to get some spoiler wins as we prepare to finish the season out and get into the off season and make some systemic changes to the offense.
Now stay with me, okay? If Houston beats Oklahoma City, if LA beats Minneapolis, if Oklahoma City beats Los Angeles, if you see where I'm going with this, if you win out, and if Orlando can trip up, let's see, who does Orlando play next week? They play Los Angeles, and then Oklahoma City can beat LA to hold them down. Maybe a 6-way tie at 5-7 or something. Maybe we can figure something out here, Frank.
Hey, it's all good. Whatever, however it rolls, man. What did us in, I think, early in the season was just some heartbreaking close losses at home that we really had the chance to win that just didn't go our way. When you get down to the end like this, you really do have to wait on hope that other teams melt down. And the competition is just too good in the SFL to expect that.
Yeah,
so we got to live it. We got to own it. I certainly own it. And just let the chips fall where they're made.
That cross conference was challenging. 20-17 at home to Carolina, 19-15 at home to DC, 20-12 against Orlando, 30-27 in overtime against Los Angeles. That's a tough, and 3 of those 4 at home. That's a tough pill to swallow. But hey, at least you didn't have to play in the hurricane tonight, and you got to play in dry Oklahoma City. Cole Ross did have a good night. You mentioned retooling the offense. What do you see the role of the tight end potentially in your squad, or is everything on the table to either be discarded or kept here? Because he had a great night.
Yeah, he did, and I like our tight ends. I think it's more of addition at this point, getting some wide receiver help. You never know. We might not change a whole lot with the tight ends. It's just about, maybe dropping, maybe having one, sending one to free agency, maybe doing some other things. We'll kind of wait. I guess we'll have to play it. We really will, to see what happens in the off season. But definitely, we know that we need to get Kenny G. If he hangs around, we're going to need to get him some help at the wide receiver position. So,
Frank Gooden, owner of Tallahassee. Yeah, thanks so much for your time, man.
Oh, yeah, glad to be a part. Good stuff.
All right, that's Tallahassee Pride owner Frank Gooden. As I was mentioning, 5-7 in the Teal Conference, probably not going to do it. Obviously, Houston feeling that pressure as well, as they have to take on Sioux Falls on Saturday. Assuming that that game goes as according to plan for Sioux Falls, it would be Houston 3-7, Tallahassee 3-7, OKC 4-6, Los Angeles 4-5, Orlando 5-5, Minneapolis 5-4 off the top of my head, and obviously a three-way tie at 5-5 would not benefit much of anybody there in the bottom, and those bottom tier teams may want to surrender the Maulers a playoff spot so they can have a shot at that number 4 seed. So open line now, 210-473-8428. We're not going to go too much longer here, but Queen City gets the big win. We broke down some of their offensive numbers. Tony Willis had 13 tackles. Avery King had 12 to lead the way for Carolina's defense. Aquanta Shine, 13 tackles for Queen City. DJ McCoo had 6. Also knocked a pass down. Blake Chance and Marie Spurgeon combined for 10 tackles, 2 assisted, but no passes defended and no picks. The balls were hardly ever thrown their way, and Carolina digs themselves an early grave. The Skyhawks and the Vipers both have a remaining schedule only against the top 3 teams in the conference. So they are facing an uphill battle. You can almost count those 2 teams out for the race. That would make it a 6-team race with the DC Dragons still alive, potentially in the hunt. The Dragons have Dallas, NYC, and Baltimore a bit more of a manageable schedule, especially since they played Baltimore well just last week and just couldn't come up with a victory. Maybe the Dragons have an outside chance, but Queen City and NYC may be in position to stage themselves for a monster Week 12 meeting for that 4th and final playoff spot. And NYC still has a shot at the division. If they can, first things first, they have to beat Baltimore. So that'll be interesting as well. We want to let you know that we will have box scores. We were not able to salvage the moments of the game that we lost in Orlando tonight. So it'll just be the partial game that you saw tonight will be available on demand. However, we did snap some photos of some of those key moments there in that 3rd and 4th quarter. And again, obviously, we have full stats at our advantage. And why don't we get to some of those stats here, actually. Santa Fe scored 21 of their 28 points in the 4th quarter. Santa Fe outgained Orlando 518 to 453. They had 9 more first downs than the Intimidators, but Orlando's passing game found a rhythm, 10.1 yards per attempt, and Zach Parker averaged 8 yards a carry as well. Another big stat was points off turnovers. Orlando 17 points off of 4 Santa Fe turnovers. Santa Fe just 7 points off of 3 turnovers. And we wish Crazy Eights could get a workable phone, but he says his phone is dead. So that's unfortunate. Connor Pyatt, healthy, 18 of 26. A quarterback rating of 108 tonight for Connor Pyatt, who is not known for his big-time performances, especially in big games. And looking at Pyatt's quarterback ratings throughout the season, that is his best performance of the season outside of the 105.1 QBR that he had against Tallahassee. So Connor Pyatt stepped up big for Orlando in this game, even though he did fumble once tonight and lost it. Zach Parker, 191 yards on 24 carries for Orlando, and Zach Parker is quietly getting it going. Another 1,000-yard season for Parker. Had just 29 yards last week against Houston when he was shut down. but in 4 of the last 6 games, Zach Parker has had at least 191 rushing yards. Back in Week 5, he had 208 against Louisville. Week 6, 197 against Queen City. Week 8, 197 against Minneapolis. And tonight, 191. So Zach Parker is really starting to rev things up for Orlando. Also had 72 yards and a touchdown on 6 receptions tonight as well. So a big night for Parker. Adam Okoye had 11 tackles on defense and also had a big interception in the second half. Stephen Lambert, 9 tackles. Reese Walsh, 7 tackles and an forced fumble, rather. Jimmy Cash, 6 tackles. Nick Nitro, 7 tackles. A pass defended. He had 2 interceptions. The 2 interceptions for Nick Nitro totaled, I'm getting the final numbers here, 176 yards of returns, 90 on the touchdown, and 86 on nearly a pick six in the first half as he was dragged down at about the 2 or the 1 yard line. So 186 interception return yards for Nick Nitro tonight. The team this season has 179. So Nick Nitro has more interception return yards tonight than his entire team has throughout the course of the season. And in terms of interception return yard leaders in the SFL, 186 for Noah Martin. And that is exactly what Nick Nitro had tonight. So in just one game, Nick Nitro becomes the leader in interception return yardage. And what an incredible game for Nick Nitro, who will move himself up the leaderboards after a brilliant performance tonight. So, just an incredible upset for Orlando. Shocked a lot of people. Orlando, coming into the game, had just the 15th scoring offense, averaging 19 points a game. They put up 45 tonight. That is just unbelievable. Well, that'll just about do it. We've gone over the stats from all the games. We've taken a couple of calls, and we're going to call it a night. From the SFL studios in Denton, Texas. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties with Santa Fe and Orlando tonight, but sometimes there just ain't much you can do. Ricky Webbs, this is the SFL, the Simulation Football League. Visit simulationfl.com to join as a player, to get involved in our rookie draft and get hyped for our next season, which is going to begin January 15, 2017. Again, simulationfl.com for more details. Simulationfl@gmail.com. We're signing off for the night. Good night, everybody.